Some people fight parking tickets, while others fight the death penalty. The latter will be explored in the Medellin and Texas case.
Jose Medellin, a Mexican citizen, was convicted and sentenced to death for participating in the gang rape and murder of 2 girls in Texas. He appealed the decision on the basis that he was not informed of his right as guaranteed in the Vienna Convention for foreign nationals to be allowed to contact their consulate. His case made it to the Supreme Court twice, but was ultimately rejected. Following his conviction, Medellin started a series of appeals in 1997 to the Supreme Court and the Texas Criminal Court of Appeals, which all ruled against him. But in 2004, the ICJ ruled in another case regarding 51 Mexican nationals, one of whom was Medellin, and ordered the U.S. to review their cases. In 2005, Bush issued a memorandum for the state court echoing the ICJ's decisions to review them. Ultimately, the case ended back up at the Supreme Court, where Medellin used both the memorandum and the ICJ ruling as the basis of his argument, but the Supreme Court held the original verdict, and Medellin was executed for his crimes in 2008. The key parties involved on Medellin's side was the International World Court and President Bush, who ordered a case review, versus the state of Texas and the U.S. Supreme Court, which said that neither of these parties had the jurisdiction or authority to order this.
Mexico and USA is an ICJ decision that was cited in the Medellin and Texas case. In this case, Mexico brought the U.S. to the ICJ due to violations of rights under the Vienna Convention of 51 Mexican nationals. The court found that the U.S. did not allow Mexican nationals arrested and imprisoned in the U.S. to meet with representation from the Mexican consulate. It ruled in favor of Mexico, and as reparations, the U.S. was ordered to review and reconsider convictions and sentences of these Mexican nationals. President Bush backed his decision with a presidential memorandum to the U.S. Attorney General, ordering states to be compliant with his ICJ decision. If Jose Medellin be named in the case, he believes his case must be reconsidered due to the decision by the ICJ.
They found that the case was tried in a state court and isn't legally bound to any international treaty. And since the U.S. had withdrawn from the optional protocol after the Vienna case, the ICJ was no longer necessary in solving interpretational disputes. Also, the Supremacy Clause meant that the Vienna Convention didn't apply to state judiciary law. The court also held that the president didn't have the power to order a court review because he didn't have the authority to order states to bypass procedural rules and comply with the ICJ rulings because it didn't have any congressional support, which is a necessary component for non-self-executing treaties.
3 major implications arise from this case. Firstly, U.S. states are not required to follow international decisions unless there's congressional support. While a president may sign an international treaty, it does not become federal law unless approved by Congress. Secondly, the president does not have the power to obligate a country to international decisions. Once again, congressional support is needed. Lastly, no international action is self-executing. While the decision of Vienna constituted an international obligation on the part of the United States, because not all international obligations are federally binding, state courts do not have to abide by the ICJ decision. As you can see, using treaty obligations as a way to fight the death penalty was futile. Thus, it can be stated that you would much rather fight a parking ticket than appeal the death penalty, as seen in the Medellin and Texas case.
Created using Powtoon.